Shugor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Director General of Police Kajala Ulaja Ram Bishnoi Ithuh bah ka Jingjia Tura Mynhynnin ka Miet ki pulit kila Ithuh yakumba arpu hundre ngut ki break bedan kiti lengba ki durki ha ka bana padeng jong kini ki pulit kila yok ban kemno hadu arphongun nakaliang DGP Ithuh ru bakine ki break kila dan jingmut lupa ban penkulmar dia kani ka Jingyalang ban penmen saw ya menteri rangba Ithuh ru ban kaliang menteri rangba hadin bo yo snow bakimi ki jinghala ula pha de ki nongelam jo ki seng bhalang ban penjai ki patba henrei na kaliang gini ki nongelam ki lawan Ithuh baki ne ki breu kim dei ki khot jong ki bat kim Ithuh ru ki dei ki ai shushu DGP ula ongru bakatanat pulit kalapan klan shushu ki bor pahara ha ka bakila pha saar perton ki bor pulit bante lakam.
Brief you about the yesterday's unfortunate incident at the Tura, where the Honorable CM was holding a meeting at Mini Secretariat with 18 number of representatives from the various NGOs, namely your archi-conscious, holistically integrated CRIMA, All India Garo Union, All Achik Youth Forum, All Achik Youth Welfare Society, Garo State Movement Council, New Tura Development Forum, United Garo People's Forum. Other than these NGOs, one senior citizens from Tura, one church representative from Tura, one research scholar of the Garo community, and one the advocate from the Garo NGOs. The total 18 number of persons, they were holding meeting with the Honorable Chief Minister at Mini Secretariat office in Tura. The meeting started at 3:15 p.m. and it continued till 5:45 p.m. It was a long marathon meeting where the discussions were basically concentrated on the demands by the various NGOs in general and two demands in specific. First, the winter capital at Tura, and secondly, the implementation of reservations oblique roster policy with retrospective effect. So most of the NGOs, they were discussing in a very, very peaceful ambience. So when the meeting was about to over, then suddenly the crowd started shouting slogans outside the mini secretariats. So Honorable Chief Minister sent certain NGO members outside the Mini Secretariat office to convince the crowd and not to create scene there. But the crowd became more violent and they instantly started pelting stones on police personnel, on vehicles, on the buildings. And the NGO members, they went inside and they briefed the Honorable Chief Minister. They also categorically told Honorable Chief Minister that the youth, many youth, they were not the part of their NGOs. They appeared first time at the hunger strike site and they were never a part of any discussion, and the NGOs, they never recognized such youths. So they came first time on the sites and immediately they created scene there. So after that, the police tried to convince them. They became more violent, and after that police resorted to mild lathi charge, and when the crowd did not budge, then ultimately the police fired the few tear smoke shells. And after a great, the actions, ultimately the crowd dispersed after 2 hours. For 2 hours, the crowd, initially they dispersed, formed small groups in the nearby hillocks, and they started pelting stones intermittently. Because of that, it continued for almost 2 hours. So in the whole actions, we have during the post-incident investigation stage, the Tura police, they found that it was the pre-planned conspiracy to attack Honorable Chief Minister and to damage him physically. Why they are saying like this? Because they gathered clinching evidence that money was distributed on 23rd July to some of the youths to create the seeing violence there on the sites. Secondly, on the 23rd July, the many bottles of liquors were distributed to the youth, and the many youth, they came with the plastic jerrycans full of the kerosene along with matchboxes and the lighters, and the many stones were lying there, and the tent were pitched, so that is why the bamboos were also available. And on the sports, they started giving inciting speeches where the Honorable Chief Minister was abused and threatened. And they provoked the crowd to cause physical damage to Honorable Chief Minister, and even they insisted that we can go for the extreme step like murder, etc. Signs of the actions of the violent youth indicated that it was a pre-planned conspiracy to cause physical damage to Honorable Chief Ministers. The police maintained restraints for a couple of hours, and even knowing that they are causing huge damage to our vehicles, police did not decide to go for firing to avoid the casualty of the other peaceful youth who were there and taking part in the agitation. You know the total, the 19 number of the 21 number of the vehicles got damaged. The 4 vehicles set on the fires. Out of 4, 2 were completely burnt. One was gypsy and the second was the Bolero police vehicles. And the 17 vehicles got damaged by pelting stones. Either the glass panes were broken or the body parts of the vehicles were damaged. Out of the 17 vehicles damaged, 5 unfortunately belonged to the Honorable Chief Minister Karkek. The vehicles were parked inside the mini secretariat. The MLA, the William Nagar MLA vehicle was also broken, was also damaged. The Deputy Secretary of Honorable Chief Minister vehicle was also targeted and partially damaged. 2 civil department vehicles were damaged. 4 Meghalaya police vehicles were damaged. 1 ambulance, the ambulance which was carrying the injured police personnel to civil hospital Tura was also targeted, and the side window glass panes were broken. And other than that, 3 private vehicles were partially damaged. So total 18 persons got injured. The 10 Meghalaya police personnel, 8 male and 2 females. The 1 home guard, the lady home guard was also injured, and the 7 CRPF police personnel also got physical injuries. So in total, the total 18 personnel got injured. After the incident, unfortunate incidents, and the police rescued the Honorable Chief Minister, and the Honorable Chief Minister went to his residence, and he appealed all the citizens to maintain peace and calm. So total yesterday night, the police whole night conducted a massive search after identifications of the accused. With the help of the video footage given by the press reporter, we have identified total 26 numbers of the culprits who indulged in unprovoked violence, and then total 19 number of the accused so far arrested. Out of 19, the 17 are female and 2 are the male accused. We also identified one of the main conspirator, Salseng R. Marak, who was earlier police, I think RC, and in 2012 he was dismissed from the service for prolonged absence, and he now has affiliations with some political party because he tried to contest elections, NDC elections from the Siju of the South Kawang districts. So now situation is under fully control, and I categorically state here that we will not spare anyone, whoever indulged in the violence and tried to cause damage to the vehicles of government officials and also try to attack the Chief Minister. They will not be spared, and they will be behind the bars soon. Police is on hunt for most of the conspirators. They have been identified, and the police is conducting consistently raid since last night. And we have deployed extra forces there, and I have sent the IGP land order to camp there and monitor the whole situation. So now situation is under fully control, and the CRPF and the 2nd Meghalaya Police Battalion personnel are deployed. We have registered a case. The complaint was lodged by the Meghalaya Civil Service officer, Mr. Dapling D. Sangma, and on the basis of he was duty magistrate, on the basis of his complaint, we have registered a case that is RIMI police station case number 16/23 under various sections of IPC. We have also applied the section of the Meghalaya Maintenance Public Order Act 2010 and the PDPP Act, that is a Prevention of Damage to Public Property Act 1984. And other than that, we have seized substantial numbers of the incriminating materials from the place of occurrence that indicates that the whole incident was pre-planned and conspiracy was hatched to attack Honorable Chief Minister and cause physical damage to him. So seized tons of stones, pebbles from the PO, and 50 numbers of the bamboos used as sticks to beat up the police personnel. We have seized 20 number of catapults, and we have seized 1 jerrycans full of kerosene oil, and we have also seized 25 number of alcohol bottles from the spot, including 2 lighters, 12 number of matchboxes, and 25 number of half-burnt matchsticks. So that itself indicates that the whole incident was pre-planned and the conspiracy was hatched to attack Honorable Chief Minister and cause damage. Once again, I reiterate that we will not spare anyone, and whoever is found in the hatching conspiracy and involved in the incident will be behind the bar very soon. On the basis of the video footage, we have identified total 26 number of persons so far who were found inciting people and also directly indulging in violence and provoking crowd to go for stone peltings. And also they tried to provoke people to barge into the municipal buildings after gate crashing so that they can hit the chief minister and his cabinet. So that indicates that conspiracy was pre-planned and it was hatched in advance. Secondly, as far as 26 persons have been identified, their addresses were ascertained and 19 have been arrested so far. Other than 19, 26 identified. So once all the persons were arrested, their statements will be recorded, and after then we will be in positions whether they had any political affiliations or they belong to any organizations or not. That will be ascertained in the due course of investigation. But as of now, I can say that it was a conspiracy which was pre-planned and they were inciting the people without any reason. They never took part in agitation earlier as per the NGOs, and the NGOs clearly refuted that they were their members. So they were not the part of the various NGOs pressure groups who were on the hunger strikes.
But we have seen the list of the arrested people. They are either members of the BJP or TMC.
So that, inquiry is going on details, and once the full facts will come to me, then I will be in position to share it with you. As of now, so I can only say that it is a very, naive to say that they belong to particular political party or not, but they were the part of the conspiracy which was pre-planned and which was hatched only to attack Chief Minister. That much I can say. In a couple of days, the full facts will come to me about their political affiliation, then I will be in position to share with you.
So during
what is his name, sir?
Who's?
The person who was arrested just now.
I have given you a small press note where all the names and details of the arrested persons are there, so you can take a screenshot of that.
Is it a fact that Richard Marak was arrested?
Richard Marak is arrested. Yes. He was inciting the people and he was a part of the conspiracy. We have collected that the people came and it was not directly distributed by the main accused, but he employed certain youth, unknown youth from outside Tura to hand over monies to the other youth who were not part of agitation. So that much evidence we got that on 23rd July, I think a total 1 lakh rupees case was distributed afternoon of 23rd July. That much evidence collected by the Tura district police. and it may be much more than that also. During investigation, it will come out.
So during that meeting, how many police personnel were stationed in the CMO office? And
During meetings, you know, in whole Tura town, meeting site, CM's residence, Speaker's residence, MP residence, and vital installations, Thana, main bazaars, patrolling duties, and the CM's car duty, all were nearly 500 people were deployed on 24th July. 500 people were deployed, and their main focus was to secure the premises of the main secretariat, the mini secretariat building, so that the crowd cannot enter inside. So main concentration was on that. So that is why, and let me clarify that the crowd, they came in small groups, in groups of 1 or 2 only. And from their youth, because they were coming normally to the sites, so the police, it was difficult for police to know whether they were earlier part of the agitations, whether they belonged to any political party or any organizations, or because lighter, matchboxes, catapult, all can be easily, concealed inside the body. So it was difficult to know, and police probably, after seeing their faces, never doubted their intentions. So they concentrated only, and everybody was hoping that some good news will come out, because most of the points of discussion, the NGOs also agreed for Shillong meetings and like that. And the meeting was about over, and then they started creating problems. Because many things I have already clarified, like the catapult, matchboxes, like the lighters, they can be easily concealed inside the body parts. And secondly, the bamboos and stones were already there. And thirdly, the crowd came in a very small groups, in a group of 2 or 3. So the police initially thought that because the Honorable Chief Minister is conducting meeting with all the NGOs, so the police thought that they might have come just to celebrate the outcome of the meetings or like that. But you can say partially it may be true that definitely there may be some lapses to read the situation instantly and ensure the follow-up action instantly. 1 or 2 minor lapses may be there, so that will be matter of inquiry. I have sent IGP Allo to camp there to actually inquire into the whole incident. And once the inquiry report will come to me, then actual how it happened, why it happened, was there any lapse from the intelligence branch, that thing will be clear to me. Maybe, some rebel groups are there, maybe some other issues maybe, or some old issues are there. That only after, when the full detailed report will come to me, then only I will be able to share with you. But there was definitely pre-planned conspiracy, there was definitely plan to harm him, there was no doubt about that.
But this attack on the Chief Minister yesterday, are you looking to increase the security of the Chief?
That's Chief Minister will be coming most probably tomorrow, reaching Ceylon, and we will be having, immediately we will be having meeting with Chief Secretary in the Home Department, and the existing security will be reviewed. It will be discussed in detail, and after that, whatever decision will be taken, that will be known.
So these words that you've mentioned, that it was a pre-planned conspiracy to attack the CM and damage him physically, was it a confession that you got from these who were arrested, or how did you?
The arrested persons, because in the early morning they were taken to the police stations, and after arrest, immediately investigation will not start, because some legal formalities have to be completed, their family members have to be intimated, their medical examinations have to be conducted, then arrest memos have to be prepared. We will take them into police remand after producing them into the jurisdictional court, and once they come back to the Thana on police remand, then the real investigation will start, and then motive will be cleared. The Delhi police was the part of the raid party, and when such a case where heinous crimes are involved, legally there is no bar, we can conduct raid during night time also. We can conduct raid.
Can women be arrested at night?
They can be arrested if other than if the woman is more than 65-year-old and less than 18-year-old. In between, there is no legal bar to arrest women during night. Only condition is the raid party should consist of some lady police officer. So we have followed all the legal procedures. Initially was ascertained that he played a role in provoking the crowd, and also before the incident, he was found involved in distribution of gas, etc. So these 2 points came into our notice, and the rest is a matter of investigation because they have been just arrested today morning only. So once the full detail will be known, then I will share with you.
Sir, was he present at the venue or was he inciting people through his social media?
They were in the crowd only because immediately after the meetings, when the crowd became violent and when the police resorted to firing of tear smoke cells, so after that, when the crowd dispersed from there, so most of these people were arrested from the either near the place of occurrence or on the road itself. So subsequently, the raid was conducted in the wee hours of the morning today, where few persons were arrested later on. So that itself indicates that they were part of a larger conspiracy. I'd like to appeal to all the youth of Meghalaya through the friends of media that the youth should not unduly indulge in drinking at public places and create public nuisance because it is damaging the image of the state, and when the image of the state is at stake, then it causes larger damage. As we all know, 22% population of the Meghalaya is their livelihood is depending on the tourism, and when such incidents happen, a lot of narratives, false narratives are created in the social media, and outside the state, perception is created that the law and order situation is not good in Meghalaya, and because of that, the outside, particularly the tourists, they feel hesitations to come visit states, and that indirectly affect the livelihood of 22% of the people of the state. So my appeal that the youth, if they have any grievances, they are free to approach us or the civil administration, police administration, but they should not take law into their own hands, should not indulge in drinking at public places and create nuisance. So this is my appeal through the media to all the youth.